Hey, good morning, guys. This is my rant for the day. I keep watching videos that just piss me off anymore. You know, society has been dumbed down and brainwashed so much that you can't even have a conversation with anybody. On social media, in public, it doesn't make any difference. You know, they automatically assume you're a conspiracy theorist or a racist or just wanting to fight or argue. All that for just thinking outside the box. Now you have a kid who's about 14, 15 years old, can't even drive a car. He's trying to give advice to adults that working for 30, 40 years, working for a living is stupid. I guess he plans on living off the government for the rest of his life or living at home in mommy's basement. And you've got adults taking that advice from a child. There's something wrong there. You know, I watched a video and it was meant to be funny about the pandemic and taking the shot. And it took about 3 comments in before the fights and the arguments started and the political views came out. You know, there was a video of a Chinese scientist and she admitted that the virus was cooked up in a lab, and you can no longer find her or the video. Seems a little strange. And have you ever seen the government come up with a vaccine for anything so quick? And have you ever seen so many people listen to the government? You know, then you have Kamala Harris making comments about population control. And you have all these young, in shape athletes and children dying of heart-related problems. You know, schools are now teaching more sex education and sex reassignment and gender, but they're not worried about teaching cursive writing, because that way it makes it easier to rewrite history. Because if you can't read it, then it has to be explained to you. And if it has to be explained to you, then it depends upon the interpretation of the person that's doing the explaining. You know, it's just something to kind of think about for a second. So, where do you really stand? You know, your government has given children more rights than the parents. Your babysitter is your TV or your Xbox, and you're living off government assistance, spending your money getting high on crack, while your child sits and plays games all day. And that's what the government wants. They want you totally dependent upon them. And just like a comment I read the other day, of course, the guy wouldn't show his face. He said that's why he doesn't work for a living. Why should he work his life away for a living? So he would rather be totally dependent upon the government for everything. And that is what the government's agenda is. They want you to be dependent upon them for everything. Because if they own everything and they control you, they own you. And they pretty much already do. People don't like to admit it, people don't like to think about it that way, but they pretty much do. Because everything you do is monitored. Everywhere you go, you're monitored. Everything you say, you're monitored. I mean, I proved that on Facebook Messenger with a friend of mine. We were talking smack. I got banned for 13 hours from Facebook Messenger. You know, I also proved it with the video that I posted on racial discrimination, where I pretended to be a black man and I posted all kinds of crap and was never warned, banned, or anything else. But I said the same thing as a white man and I got banned for 29 days. So how's that not discrimination? You know, they're bending over backwards to cater to certain groups because that's where the votes are at. And these certain groups can burn, loot, steal, destroy, never be held accountable for it, never be arrested, never go to jail. And that's just a fact. And that is the America that we live in today.